Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp. And, as I'm sure you are very aware, as all true Americans are, today is January 6th.
This is a Target where you buy condoms. This is the Capitol, our seat of government. It protects the rights that folks fought and died for, and there is no equivalency. These are people who have been slaughtered, fighting so they will not get murdered, and here they're protesting re-elections. So there is no equivalency. The time will come to heal divisions, but now we need to consider justice, 'cause this is protest and this is treason. So there can be no equivalency.
Oh, I ended the clip before the end. Well, that's a shame. Unintentionally. I hit it too quick. That was me just saying, give me liberty or give me death, which I think is appropriate. So, since it's January 6th, every American should know what this day is really about. And it's only about two things. One, it's the day that the Capitol Police murdered a U.S. Army veteran. It's still just brutal to even think about. So the day that happened, and the day that we should always continue to ask the question, who is Ray Epps? I mean, I think that's a little bit, it's probably the most important question that we can ask about this. So just a little refresher if you are not familiar, because that's what this day should be about.
I know.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go, I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
So I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail for it, okay? Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? Peacefully. Fed. Peacefully. Okay, folks, spread the word. As soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol. The Capitol's this direction. He's done speaking. We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
So yes, it is a day of remembrance for Ashley Babbitt, and it should be further known as Who is Ray Epps Day. And in case you missed this as well, there was an attempt to actually go talk to this guy after our government just completely exonerated him inexplicably, took him off the FBI's most wanted list. And anyway, you haven't seen this. Check this out.
With pure politics, I've been trying to get a hold of you. We met January 5th.
We're patriots.
We're
Well,
patriots.
do you remember me from January 6th at
I
least?
understand that, but I can't say anything.
Are you still
I
under
can't say
investigation
anything.
by the FBI?
Are you a federal informant?
Is there a reason why the FBI took you off the most wanted list?
Are you a federal informant? Ray Epps? Are you a federal informant? That's Ray Epps, alleged federal informant, driving into his property.
I love that part. Are you a federal informant? I can't talk to you about this. Well, there goes Ray Epps, alleged federal informant. Nailed it. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, because of course we had to address it, it's really nothing other than, it would be great if we could ever find out what actually happened on that day. But, as long as things are the way they are, we never will. So, in the meantime, as we wait for that, let's check out all the news that was fit to print this week. All right, hopefully, for once, we can get some good news. Let's see here. I won't hold my breath. First genderqueer Church of England priest visits schools to normalize being trans for children. How am I not surprised? The first openly non-binary transgender priest... How can you be non-binary and transgender? None of this ever makes sense. The first openly non-binary transgender priest ordained into the Church of England has been involved in LGBT, they forgot the Q, LGBT youth groups and visits schools as a way to normalize being transgender for children. Bingo Allison, a 36-year-old father of three and self-described non-binary transgender priest in the, blah, blah. So they say, quote, I try to get involved in, not just in my religious work, but outside it, with the local secular LGBT youth groups. One of the biggest things is just being a visual representation in my community and going into schools, doing assemblies, and making a huge difference in normalizing it for children. When I'm wearing my collar, it lets children know that it is okay and that there is a place in church and the outside world for people like them, said Allison. Okay, well, straight to hell with you. Top 6 relationship red flags to look out for. Cheating isn't one of them. I'm pretty sure that's the number 1 red flag. Turns out a wandering eye is not the biggest threat to modern sex, love, and understanding. There are 6 main red flags that most men and women see as deal breakers in romantic partners, and cheating isn't one of them, according to the psychologists behind a new study. Well, at least we got a study to prove it. The research, launched in 2015 and published in the latest edition of the Personality and Individual Differences Journal. Wow, that sounds like a bunch of crap. Looked at 285 undergraduate students in the U.S. with an average age of 22. Participants completed 2 rating scales. The Mate Value Scale, a 22-item inventory of desirable traits rated by importance, and the Sociosexual Orientation Inventory. God, they just make this shit up. A rating of how open they were in relationships. Oh my God. I think I'm just going to stick with cheating is a big red flag. At least for sane people. All right, next story. Women among the January 6th attackers are the new normal of right-wing extremism. Shouldn't they be happy about that? It's diversity, inclusion. Women are increasingly ditching their backstage role in right-wing extremist movements. Good job, ladies. One issue that keeps getting lost in the shuffle is the unusual role that women played in the insurrection and continue to play in the rise of extremism itself. Oh boy. Women were likely more engaged on January 6th due to the highly spontaneous nature of the of the violence and because of the prominent effect of QAnon. Man, they shouldn't say spontaneous nature of the violence too loudly, because wasn't there a whole series of hearings about how this wasn't spontaneous and people were being charged with sedition? QAnon, which has radicalized millions of women to believe in a network of conspiracy theories. Like most of the men charged, most women who have been arrested appear to have no formal ties to extremist groups. By all accounts, these women were mobilized over a relatively short period. This is actually inadvertently damning to the January 6th hearings. No formal ties to extremist groups. By all accounts, these women were mobilized over a relatively short period of time through mass disinformation about the U.S. presidential election and traveled to Washington from ordinary lives, leaving jobs as health professionals, a florist, listing jobs. I don't know why journalists think that makes it... writing a novel? I mean, this is stupid. And I just want to make mention that this is a whole article about women and January 6th, and not once does it mention Ashley Babbitt. You know, I guess take that to mean whatever you want. Next article. Lizzo very hurt by claims she makes music for white people. Lizzo issued a rebuke Monday to critics who accused her of making music that only appeals to white people, an allegation raised in her new HBO Max documentary, Love Lizzo. It's very hurtful, only because I am a black woman, and I feel like it really changes my identity and who I am, and diminishes that, which I think is really hurtful. Well, at least you said hurtful twice. The singer at 34 said during an appearance on the Howard Stern show, it's very hurtful that white people like Lizzo's music. I gotta tell you, it's hurtful to me too that anyone, anywhere, likes Lizzo's music. All right, come on. Next page. Surely we'll have a bit of good news somewhere. Oh, here we go. Transphobe of the Year, Matt Walsh. Finally, some good news. The right-wing writer and podcaster has raised his profile by spreading grotesque conspiracy theories about grooming and pedophilia in the LGBTQ community. I knew we'd get a feel-good story out of this somewhere. From book bans to bomb threats, 2022 has been characterized by a disturbing rise in right-wing violence brought on by the viral moral panic of very online fearmongering. Holy crap. How many buzzwords can you put in one sentence? And the biggest target of this mayhem has been the transgender community. Figures like libs of TikTok's Haya Rychek, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, and the Manhattan Institute's Chris Rufo has joined conservative politicians in flooding right-wing airwaves with hate speech and misinformation. Wow, and apparently they're flooding the airwaves with run-on sentences on issues like gender-affirming care and children's sports. But in a year when Transgender Day of Remembrance was marked by a mass shooting at an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs, the shooter was non-binary, by the way. They didn't write that. I'm editorializing. One man stands out from the crowd. Matt Walsh. Yeah. Transphobe of the Year. I knew we'd get some good news in there somewhere, you know? This has been all the news that's fit to print. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm a little bit offended that I did not get Transphobe of the Year. But it is stiff competition. I mean, I definitely didn't hold a candle to Tucker Carlson or Matt Walsh. So I guess it's all right. I'm willing to work harder next year. That's really what this is. It's just a wake-up call for me to make sure that I try a little bit harder. All right, before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you, super chats, very much appreciated. Help support the channel. Make sure you like the stream, by the way. Share it with somebody that you think it might make them cry. Because I don't think that this kind of content you can really share with people because you never know how someone's going to react. But you know, we can always hope for the best. I did finally set up the super chat jukebox. So whenever we get a super chat, I added a bunch of new songs and they actually will play randomly. So we finally, it's not just going to be me picking one. It'll just go with whatever super chat happens. So if you want a cool song, you can activate the super chat jukebox. Okay. Onward. I wasn't sure where to put this in the show tonight, so we're just gonna jump right into it. There has been leaked footage exposing why Batgirl was just trashed. You know, the Batgirl movie that was supposed to come out, or was it a show or a movie? I can't remember. But there was supposed to come out Batgirl. But leaked footage has shown us exactly why this is not why they scrapped it. And it's just priceless. It's priceless. Check this out. Why is that so funny? I don't know. One more time. Come on, we'll play it again. Here we go. Oh, is anyone wondering why this was canceled? Jeez. Man, I don't know. Maybe no one else thinks that's as hilarious as I do, but man, that was hilarious. It just doesn't work, does it? I mean, Batgirl doesn't even. Why? Why are they doing this? It's the director just said, run like a cartoon, please. Or maybe that's just how she thinks that people run. I don't know. I mean, she's fit, right? I mean, she looks fit. You think that she would know how to run. Okay, I just had to get that in there. I mean, that was just too good. But that brings us into the Twitter thread of the week. This is a good one for all of my my gun fans out there, people who are always into the latest whatever the latest assault weapons craze, oh my gosh, we're scared of guns. This is from the San Jose Police Department, from their media relations account. And I had to look and make sure this was legit because I thought this had to be a parody, that there was no way that this was real. But check this out. They say, our field training program is one of the finest in the nation. Today, a young officer in training stopped a vehicle and found this assault handgun. Even handguns are getting into the assault game. This assault handgun. The suspect was arrested and given a ride to county jail. Good job, Rook. So as you can see here, we have the world's first assault handgun. It's a 22. It almost looks like a 3D printed one, honestly. I'm just glad everything's getting upgraded to assault versions, and I could not be more happy about it. What precisely makes a 22 an assault handgun? It doesn't look normal. It looks assaulty. The San Jose Police Department. Oh, come on, guys. The assault handgun. You're an assault Twitter account. See, this is what I thought. This guy is assault handgun. Is this a meme account? I mean, I honestly thought it was fake. I thought there was no way that I've been tricked by this before. Parody police station Twitter accounts. So I had to check, and it's legit. It's 100% legit. Thank you for saving the streets from this very deadly assault pistol. Little known fact, 22 can actually blow a lung out the back of your body and decimate a small African village in a single round. Fantastic. And of course, most people just want to know what exactly makes it an assault handgun. And do not hold your breath for the answer to this question, because we've never even found out what makes an assault rifle, or just assault weapons in general. We don't know exactly what that is. See, everyone's trying to figure this out. I mean, what is an assault handgun? You're all a bunch of redcoats. And I don't know if this is true, but this person says this is literally California compliant. It only holds 5 rounds. I see you were quick to call out the assault handgun, but not the assault balaclava or the assault purse. This is literally a 22 LR pistol. WTF is an assault pistol. Just remember, you guys are the standing army the forefathers warned us about. Ain't that the truth? Twitter thread of the week. And I'm sure you'll all be very happy to know. I feel like there was a few weeks there where I didn't have much Biden, the man without a brain content. They were keeping him under lock and key. He went on vacation for like 8 straight days. Which, when Trump went on vacation for 1 day, it was just like an end to all democracy as we knew it. But don't worry. Biden's been back at it hard this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, Biden, the man without a brain.
Holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway.
First up, can you tell what Biden is talking about here?
I've traveled over 140 countries around the world. I'll paraphrase the phrase of my own neighborhood. The rest of the countries, the world's not a patch on our genes. If we do what we want to do, we need to do. I've traveled over.
So, one more time.
140 countries around the world. I'll paraphrase the phrase of my own neighborhood. The rest of the countries, the world's not a patch on our genes. If we do what we want to do, we need to do.
I'll paraphrase the phrase of my old neighborhood. The country, other countries are not a patch on our genes, and if we do what we need to do, which we do, because if we do something like that, sounds good to me. Next up, of course, our old pal Biden. He's got some thoughts about the Damar Hamlin situation and what happened at that game. And as I'm sure you can guess, it is quite insightful, as everything he says is.
NFL is getting too dangerous?
No.
So the reporter asked, is the NFL getting too dangerous? Which already, right off the bat. Who asked that question? Get this guy out of here.
Do you think the NFL is getting too dangerous?
No, look. The idea that you're going to have. You got guys that are 6'8", 340 pounds, running 4'8", 40. I mean, you know, you hit somebody with that kind of force. Now, that's not what happened here. But I just think it's
what?
I don't know how you avoid it.
Do you think the NFL is getting too dangerous?
Isn't that exactly what happened here? I mean, unless he's saying it was the vaccines. Aren't they saying that it was the hit to his chest that caused this? Maybe, you know, I always have we got to double check because I think maybe Biden is just too smart for most of us. Let's try this again.
Dangerous?
No, look. The idea that you're going to have, you got guys that are 6'8", 340 pounds, running 4'8", 40. I mean, you know, you hit somebody with that kind of force. Now, that's not what happened here. But I just think it's, I don't know how you avoid it.
Well, I will agree that I don't know how you avoid tackling in football. That is certainly true. I would agree with that. Some would say it's like an integral part of the game itself. You know, the crazies, the crazy people who don't understand how valuable human life is, and we shouldn't have guys who are 6'8" slamming into people. It's gotten too violent. I mean, because everyone knows. Everyone knows. This is the most violent football's ever been. Any major football fan knows that over the last 20 years, football's only gotten more violent, not less violent. I mean, those people who say that they've basically sissified the game, every little thing gets called, everything. I mean, those people are dead wrong. They're completely dead wrong. It's in fact, this is the most violent football has ever been. I mean, never mind the fact that people used to die routinely playing football. Now is the time. Now is the time when it's the most violent that it has ever been. Thank you, Joe Biden. Speaking of which, Damar Hamlin is doing okay, and I was listening to this this morning from the Morning Wire. Here, check this out.
Joining us to discuss is Crane & Company co-host David Cohn. So, David, some promising news here. What is Hamlin's status?
It is very promising, John. The first update came yesterday from the Buffalo Bills organization, and they released a statement saying that Hamlin had shown remarkable improvement over the past 24 hours, and while still critically ill, has demonstrated to be neurologically intact, unquote. That's huge. Yeah. And less than 2 hours later, physicians at the University of Cincinnati Health informed the public that Damar had opened his eyes, was gripping the hands of loved ones, was even communicative through writing. Still not able to speak right now, but through writing, asking doctors if the Bills won the football game.
Now, that's good news, of course. Seems like he's doing all right. Then they had to ruin it. I know you're not actually right now. It's apparently it's too early to actually say anything or even, you know, all you're allowed to say is, "Oh, I hope he's okay," which of course we all do. You can't even discuss whether or not the game should have been canceled or any of that stuff. But you think, okay, we're doing good. We're getting back to normal. Hey, he's awake. He's communicative, as they said. But no, they just had to make it worse. And I'm forced to make a joke about it. Please don't cancel me.
This is University of Cincinnati Dr. Timothy Pritt and Dr. William Knight speaking yesterday.
When he asked, did we win? The answer is yes. You know, Damar, you won. You've won the game of life. And that's probably the most important thing out of this. And we really need to keep him at the center of everything else that's going on. And we really want to ensure a good outcome for him.
Oh, man, just an incredible quote there.
Was it? Was it an incredible quote? Damar Hamlin wakes up and seems like he's a pretty cool guy, pretty sportsman-like guy. He's like, hey, did my team win? And they go, yes, you won. You won the game of life. I'm pretty sure right then Hamlin just said, put me back under. What is wrong with you people? Just say they canceled the game. He won the game of life. And then the guy goes, yeah, wow, what a powerful what? The guy quoted a Lifetime movie, and we're all supposed to sit here and go, oh wow, this was what an amazing, thoughtful thing that he said. And then he gave him a poster with a cat hanging off a branch, and it said, hang in there. Come on, guys. Things are looking up, and then you bring this out. I mean, come on. It sounded like the guy is a good guy. And then you had to do him this dirty right when he wakes up. He goes, oh, my team did what? Oh. Okay, thanks for that. I'll write that down in my memory journal. I know. We're not allowed to say it. We're not allowed to make jokes about this because people keep getting in trouble for it. But here's the thing: I'm the internet's bully. I don't have a choice in the matter. And if you're gonna say something that's stupid, I have to say it. You're just teeing it up for me. It's too easy at this point. Anyway, of course, following in lockstep with this new kind of, I guess this, is it the Democrat platform now, since Biden had to say that, well, yeah, I guess football is, why are they doing this? Is it getting too violent? Everyone's favorite show, The View, they had some interesting takes on the Damar Hamlin situation, and I don't know if this is going to shock you. Football is bad, and it's just gotten too darn violent. Ain't that the truth?
Right? I mean, my kid played football. He was recruited for college, and he got a terrible hamstring injury getting hit. And I saw him collapse to the ground. Thank you. And he went through physical therapy for 6 months. And he realized at that point,
playing football.
That could happen to my brain.
Right.
Yeah. And so he quit. And he did. He quit. And it was a very hard thing for him.
If that's not an applause-worthy thing. And he quit. He is a quitter. No, I mean, I get it, but it's just kind of stupid, right? Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know.
He went through physical therapy for 6 months. And he realized at that point, that could happen to my brain.
Right.
Yeah. And so he quit. And he did. He quit. And it was a very hard thing for him because he loved doing it. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to turn people away from the sport because, I mean, I went to Notre Dame. It's like faith, family, football. It's a big deal. And it's a $105 billion industry.
Yeah.
So,
only 45% of Americans think that tackle football is appropriate. Wow. Heterosexual men voted the most support for kids doing football. And conservatives were more likely to support youth tackle football. Just saying.
So I don't.
Just saying. Just saying. We all know what that means. I'm just saying. Heterosexual men supported tackle football. Just saying. Oh my gosh, the shocker of the century. But I'm just saying, you know, and you notice how, how that these type of people work is she brings up how this is such a lucrative industry anytime anyone on the left brings that up, unless they're talking about Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, unless they're talking about vaccine manufacturers, that is a bad thing. That is a very bad thing. They don't ever bring up that it's a billion-dollar industry unless there's something bad going on here, guys. Just saying. Heterosexual men like football. Just saying. We all know those are the bad guys. Just saying. I mean, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can't believe they football. Yeah, what are they? What are they, men? Disgusting. All right, on to the next story. Enough football. I think this is the longest I've ever talked about football on anything on this channel. Actually, I don't think I've ever talked about football on this channel before. So, the other big story this week. Stuff. So brace yourselves. Groundbreaking, important information. Is it racist to like big butts? Well, is it? Is it? I have a feeling they're going to let us know. The human butt has long been the object of all manner of obsessions. We worry over it, its size, its shape, whether or not it is cellulite on it, how it looks in a pair of jeans. But now a new source of concern emerges: the alarming possibility that one's butt, or at least one's relationship to butts generally, is racist. Okay. Few things here. No. Actually, that's it. I think there's only one thing. All right, let's continue. The concept of cultural appropriation has always struck me as both fundamentally misguided and historically illiterate, arising from a study in curiosity about both. So here's this part where they talk about how. Where does it get to it? They want to feign as if it's not about that, but then they say, well, actually, the appropriation complaints seem at least understandable, if not persuasive. The book is insistent on this front. Butts are a black thing. All right? Butts are a black thing. And liking them is a black male thing. And the appreciation of butts by non-black folks, because they're always folks, represents a moral error, cultural theft, or stolen valor, or some potent mix of the two. Among the scholars and experts quoted by Radke on this front is one who asserts that the contemporary appreciation of butts by the wider male population is, quote, coming from black male desire, straight up, point blank. It's only through black males and their gaze that white men are starting to take notice. Now, of course, you would be a fool not to recognize that black men like big booties. But, no pun intended, but until recently, if you were a white person that observed this, pretty sure that was racist. And again, but I definitely could not disagree more with this this take. And all I have to do is show you two examples of why I disagree with this. And it's fairly easy. All you have to do is go to Renaissance paintings. Bam. White ladies with big booties. I'm doing the research. Putting in the work. Okay? So this is just one example. I think it is highly persuasive. I'm not sure why they would have done that if they did not in some way appreciate it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. And in case that did not convince you, and just to prove that I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere, all right? I'm pretty sure everyone has seen, paintings from the Renaissance, 1800s that look a lot like this. Just saying. There seems to be a flaw in the logic here. I'm doing the research, okay? I'm not buying it. I really don't think. I could be wrong, I guess, Anyone feel free to chime in, but pretty sure this has been basically universally known that lots of people like lots of different things, regardless of their race. But I'm just glad that I'm now able to make fun of a black guy for liking a big booty and not be called racist for it. And that's really all I could ever hope for. I have no idea what this segment is about. I saw this article and it was all I could think about. Not the butts, but the paintings. Because if you remember, it wasn't that long ago. It was maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago. All these woke people they were making articles just like this, but they were talking about how the, desiring thin women was a construct of the colonialist white Americans, because if you looked back at Renaissance paintings, the women were always curvy. That was written everywhere. It was. That was like the woke thing that they were talking about. Is like, let's go look back at old paintings and you'll be able to see that curvy women used to be desirable, but now there's this fat phobia going around from white American men. All I'm saying, it just takes a little bit of research. All you have to do is Google Renaissance paintings of naked white ladies. And no, I was not doing that before this. That was purely for research. All right, last thing for the evening. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask if my mic was just like going crazy tonight or not. I moved it. Hopefully it hasn't been too terrible. The last thing for the evening, it just wouldn't be January 6th if we didn't go over the left's favorite thing, QAnon. I have never known anyone in the world who knows more about QAnon than the left-wing media, because I personally do not know a damn thing about QAnon. And I've never personally met anyone who did know anything about QAnon. I mean, yeah, sure. I saw some shirts and stuff at rallies. People had QAnon things, but it seemed like such a minority group that, I've never even personally talked to someone who knew anything about QAnon. Most of the time when it gets brought up, people look around and go, QAnon? What the hell is QAnon? But if you watch left-wing media, QAnon is just the most important thing in the world to all right-wingers, especially right-wingers who like Donald Trump. And I still, to this day, am not even sure what QAnon exactly is. Is it a message board? Is it someone who posts on 4chan? Is there a website? I care so little. I've never looked it up. Why would I? But what is this? Is everyone's favorite NBC, and they're going to explain to us what pastel QAnon is. That's right. The rabbit hole just keeps going further and further down. Pastel QAnon. And no, it doesn't have it sounds like maybe it's something to do with homosexuals who like QAnon or something. It's not that. How the far right conspiracy group is creeping into the wellness community. That's right. No one is safe from QAnon.
Thank you, divine, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent creator God, for filling this chamber with your white light of love.
The world watched as QAnon, that once only existed in the darkest corners of the internet, broke into the center of democracy. But yoga, meditation, and crystal healing, not typically what you'd expect from members of the far-right conspiracy group.
Okay. How do you think QAnon became mainstream in the wellness community?
You know, where we go one, we go all. The Great Reset, the Great Happening. Where we go one.
Became mainstream in the wellness community. Yeah. Is the wellness community mainstream? Isn't that kind of like saying, like, wow, you know, your band has basically become mainstream with ginger midgets. You're huge. It became mainstream with the wellness community. Okay, please tell me more.
We go all. That's yoga. Oneness. Unity. My liberation
You do
is
not
bound.
sound at all
Some
like a
call
crazy
it
person.
pastel
Not at
QAnon,
all.
a cross-section of conspiracy and spirituality thriving in the suburbs of Southern California.
Hey everyone, welcome to Conspirituality. I'm Derek Barris. I am Julian Walker.
Julian Walker started the podcast Conspirituality with friends in the wellness space at the beginning of the pandemic. They describe it as, quote, a weekly study of converging right-wing conspiracy theories and faux progressive wellness utopianism.
Everything about that gives me an absolute visceral reaction, and I want to punch someone in the face. So these guys are not doing a good job of promoting a meditative, calm oneness with the universe. Because holy crap. A weekly study of converging right-wing conspiracy theories and faux progressive wellness utopianism. Holy crap. That is a sentence, for sure, that exists in the world.
I think what I've learned is that most people in the world who are seeking some sense of meaning, some sense of community, something to feel better, can be susceptible to any number of beliefs that we might otherwise find outlandish or improbable or even dangerous.
I do have to say, if I was going to look for somebody who could explain to me an outlandish belief or something that is seems just bizarre, this is 100% the guy I would go to. The guy over here doing whatever the hell this is. And I know, there's people out there that are like, oh, I like yoga, I do yoga. Good for you. Great. But are you a part of the yoga wellness community? The mainstream wellness community? It's like you meet somebody and they go, "Oh, you're a farmer? That's cool. I'm really into plants and gardening too." And you go, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool." And then they proceed to explain to me about how that's why I surround my garden with these stones that are meant to promote the wellness of the energy within the plants and how it makes sure that they have a really great day, because all life is sacred and you really don't want to eat an onion that feels bad or is confused about its gender. No, you could be into yoga and just not be into this crazy shit. I enjoy some Marvel movies, but I rip on the community, quote unquote, community, all the time because it's stupid. All right. Tell me more.
Once the pandemic led to lockdown and life was forced online, QAnon spread like wildfire. From the dark web and into the mainstream.
It felt like this
odd
trauma bond.
It spread like wildfire so much that me, a person who actually exists in this right-wing online sphere, never heard about it until MSNBC told me about it. That's what kills me. Oh, it was just everywhere like wildfire. Really? Well, I have the algorithm on YouTube, and they say like the stuff that I watch, I should be the person that they're saying is getting all this crap. Yet I never have. Like, 10 years ago when they were talking about the YouTube algorithm is sending young men to white supremacist YouTube videos because they watched Ben Shapiro once. Never happened to me. And I was looking for it, man. I was trying. I was trying my damnedest.
How is something that I thought was so alt-right affecting a population that I presumed was progressive alt-left?
So how does Love and Light
They had to cut that real quick. Alt-left. I don't think they like that term. Alt-right's supposed to be scary. Can't say alt-left.
turn dark?
I recognize that there was a lot of potential political power in, the yoga community.
Meditation teacher Jay
Really?
Ponte says he saw firsthand how his close friend Mickey Willis went from a Bernie Sanders supporter and New Age luminary to the front steps of the Capitol on January 6th. And the disinformation mastermind behind the movie Plandemic.
QAnon essentially takes very complex problems and reduces them to very simple sources. It's just pedophiles. It's the Hollywood elite. It's the Democrats.
Sean Korn, a seasoned yogi with a massive online following.
I would just love to know. Would love to know how that's different than what Democrats do. No, I get it that there's people like that on all sides. But it's so weird that they hone in on that, which is not a prominent thing at all, when still the majority of people on the left think that Black Lives Matter was a legit organization and that Kyle Rittenhouse killed 3 black people. Yeah, please tell me more about the problems with disinformation coming from QAnon. Okay.
People that I would know would reach out to me, telling me how misinformed I was and that I didn't understand, or accusing me of being a pedophile.
She began to lose those she loved to Q. And so did
are you a
crystal
pedophile?
healer Kathleen Abraham.
I saw people that
I am suspicious of anyone who claims to be a healer that has this body. That's just a fact. All right. If someone comes to you and says they're a healer and they walk in looking like this, no, you need to turn around and get out. I will find a different healer. You're in the wellness community? Damn. That is a lot of wellness going on there.
that I had put on a pedestal that were people that were, my guides, my really close friends.
Your first mistake.
So what do you tell to your friends, people you respect in the healing community who do this to help others? I mean, how do you have those conversations?
Right now, I don't.
I'd like to know how you rub people with crystals that are shaped like little knives, and you have a sticker that says you're pro-science. And then you're going to tell me about how QAnon ruined your life. Yeah, I am suspicious of everything you're saying now. Every word coming out of your mouth seems like some sort of delusion. But, far be it from me to say that this lady might not have all her faculties available.
I can't. I tried.
Many in the wellness community were forced to close their doors. And with California's strict COVID protocols,
God
the
for that.
practice of mind-body connection took a virtual approach and gained an even bigger audience.
And then you start seeing the memes on Facebook, and what do the memes say? There's no such thing as COVID. It's the 5G towers that are making you sick. And why are the 5G towers making you sick? Well, isn't it too much of a coincidence that all these things are happening at the same time, and they're going to want you to get a vaccine, and maybe all of this is a way to gain control over us? Good. Take one more full inhale here.
That way of thinking, not based in fact. In September of 2020, Sean had had enough. She publicly took a stance.
Yeah, that one was stupid. It was like the 5G thing. I actually did hear about that one. Is that QAnon? Was that QAnon? How would I know? But I think QAnon is just a catch-all term for these people. But it's funny how they latch onto these things when they pop up, and as if they still have relevance today. No, even the people who used to think that don't think that anymore. I mean, it was weird to begin with, but even the people who used to think that don't really think that anymore. They're on to other things, but there wasn't even that many of them to begin with. And the fact that they're trying to make some connection to QAnon and the alt-right when they're saying these are people in the wellness community who are falling for this 5G hysteria, I'm pretty sure that says more about the wellness community than it does the alt-right. But, whatever.
Writing, QAnon does not represent the true values of the wellness community.
When I posted it, I did not
Taking a
understand
stand.
how dangerous this philosophy group was, and how deeply they had gotten their hooks into the wellness world.
And Sean said QAnon used her platform and Instagram's algorithms to recruit.
So where do we go from here?
I'm 55 years old. I've earned a certain amount of just longevity in this community and respect.
Just
I
because
will
of your
continue
age, or?
to use my voice and my platform.
It sounds to me like you're a nutter. I've earned a certain amount of respect. I mean, I can't say whether you've earned that in the wellness community or not, but you sound Looney Tunes to me. And not just about the QAnon stuff, everything else that you said. It's all about a oneness. Where one go, we all go. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's the other guys that are the crazy guys. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a good time hanging out for the Friday show. Once again, I have set up the Super Chat jukebox. Hopefully it will be the channel will be starting to grow again, because I kind of took some time off for the holidays and everything, so there wasn't as much content, but we'll be back on it. We'll be back hitting it hard. So eventually we'll be able to see all the Super Chat songs. All right, check out the merch. I got a new hoodie in there, some new a new coffee mug. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm gonna do. I got to figure out exactly how often I want to do TikTok Tuesday. Because to be honest, it's a pain to do it every week. I kept trying to come up with ways to like make videos out of it or something. And man, that's a lot of work, believe it or not. It won't go anywhere. Yeah, I mean, I'll figure out how to work it in. Yeah, maybe do it every other week, and then because I want to do whoever wins do a video on them, and haven't been able to do that yet. But since I'm back at this again after the holidays, yeah, maybe every other week, so that we can do one, and then the following week I can do a video about whoever won the previous week or something. I don't know, something like that. I've got a lot of other stuff on my plate too, and that's a lot of work putting all those together. And then it's just a lot of work, to be able to head down that trail of beers every Tuesday. All right, guys, it's been fun. Hope you had a good time. Over the legal limit tomorrow, so I'll catch you there if you want to have some beers and some jams. Happy January 6th, everybody. And remember, give me liberty or give me death.